Hello and welcome back to the grid. Welcome back to Let's Build a Megazord. Today with box number 14 and magazines 69 to 74. So basic as always, the magazines, manual, a little bit of Power Rangers history, a little extra. So we're continuing to build the base plate today. This one was like two boxes back, sorry. And I assume it's just 2 or 3 parts like last time as we built this, so there will be more of that in the future. We'll see in a sec on the building table. And then let's see, we start out with this 69 metal, very heavy, and this is a repeat from box 13. We had that as the last teaser for this box. Then there is magazine 70, which is very small as well, lightweight. I assume it's just plastic and a little of these bolt joints, like one of the connector parts. 71, also metal, very heavy, and this is all Mastodon, by the way. Speak of Mastodon, so this is 72, and you can see, I mean, it's turnaround, it's the big M, what is on the other side here. And is it one? Oh no, it's 2 plates, it looks like. So let's see how far we are building this chunker today. I'm looking forward really to complete one of the Zords to see the progress. I mean, you see the progress by now. We're like more than 50% in. And I've seen some reviews there and here on YouTube, and someone mentioned that like with magazine 76, which probably will be the next box, we start completing the first Zord, which will be the pterodactyl from Kimberly. So yeah, really excited to have this all done. Here are some more parts in 73, so a little bit of smaller, and as I said, some more parts. This is all not so much technically. You could chunk that into one magazine, like 2 combined, but you wouldn't make that much money out of it. So just a little bit nitpicking here. And 74, the last one for today. It's another foot, looks like, or is it maybe even 2? It's just 1. And here's a metal plate, which is very heavy as well. So let's switch to the building table and start building. Welcome to the building table. 2 parts as I predicted, and I assume there will be 2 more, maybe in 2 boxes, maybe a bit longer, I have no idea. This part was in box 12, I think, at least. It's been a while, so I didn't keep track on that one. But we had that, so we take these parts, they click together, and then there go like 2 screws in here, like on that one. After that, from this one, like a U shape, in the end it will be a circle. So I quickly screw this together and show you the results, and then we continue with the important parts, like there. So there's our U shape, as I said, very simple. As you can see, 6 screws total for now. In the upcoming magazines and boxes, there will be more of these. Less part than the tribal coin part. That connects with the part which is over there. That is the lower half. And then, yeah, I don't know, something that comes in between here, because 2 parts of the same, there would be a gap otherwise. And when the base plate is done, it will be looking fantastic. So let's move over to the important part, to the first magazine for today. Magazine number 69. That is a repeat of 68. This is a tease from last box. As you can see, same deal. And that was very fast last time, so let's start. So we start out with this part and this little plastic one. This one is metal. The plastic one slides on here and needs to held down with 1 silver screw. There are 2 types of silver screws. one a little bit bigger and have some blue paint on the tip. Don't use those, use the smaller ones without the paint. As I said, very easy, one screw, see you in a moment. End result is this. The next step is very easy as well. There's a metal piece, the rubber washer that is inside goes on top of here. And then we have this plastic silver part that connects like so. And it needs to be screwed down with one of the bigger silver screws, the one with the blue marking on the tip. End result is this, and as you can see there are 3 raised parts around the centerpiece. Looks similar like this part, because it slides on there and get held down by 3 black screws. When that's screwed down, we're done with this magazine and moving over to the next one. Magazine number 70. And there's barely anything in it, so let's begin. That's the results of 69 here. The part, as you can see, screwed down. Just want to show that off. Let's see what the magazine has to offer. We're starting with the combined part of magazine number 68. That's from the last box, from box number 13. And this connector part that we had more than once by now. Slides in here. Just one type of screw in there, a lot of them, these silver ones, so easy peasy. We had that so often by now, so routine. When you're done, you have a result like this. 4 screws hold this in place, and make sure that you face the part with the bolt and the nut inside the casing, like you can see it here. For the next step, we need these 2 parts. This bigger one, which was in the magazine, and this combined one. Holds together like so with 4 silver screws. Very easy. This is your results. Goes aside for now, because the last step for this magazine is this one. And this bolt part here, like this, I think it's a big bolt, that goes through here. You have this more flat thing that should be facing out. So it goes in here through till it's flush, and that's that. We see us in the next magazine. Magazine 71. Everything very fast pace, not so many parts. Heavy metal and some screws. We combine most of these parts now. In the last magazine, we inserted this bolt here. Here's the counterpart, as you can see with this. So this fits really good together. Slides just on, and that's that. But you might have to use some tools. I had to use those in the past to adjust that. It's when it's inserted not the right angle, so you have to twist it a bit. It's all movable, so that should be fine. Now we take the other half, and this little gray piece that slides in here. It acts as a clip in the future. And we have to unfold this here. Here's some metal rod sticking out that slides on here. Folds slightly around like this, just roughly. Will be finalized in a moment. The final step for this magazine is this part and this part connect. And after this connected, we screw everything in place with 2 of those black screws that we got with this magazine. When you're done, it looks like this. It's very heavy because of all the metal, and you only can screw it from this side. Let me see. You have to use these 2 screw holes here. I don't know if the camera picks it up. So if you angle it right, because this is movable, you can look through and see the silver part. That's why there are so many holes in there. Let's move on to the next magazine. Magazine 72. So magazine 72 is starting off easy. This plate and this plate, just click them into place and we're done. This is your results. Makes it nice looking and even more heavy than it is already. It's tight in there. I hope it doesn't fall out, but if that's the case, I will glue it in place. Just as a quick side note, you might want to do that as well. A very quick next step, this metal bolt and this plastic part, they connect like this. Slides in very easy till it's flush. Speaking of easy, this combined part and the silver piece, just like so. Super easy. Now we lift up the hood, take this part, slides on here, and then fold it a bit and twist it. It's like so. Then you can reach these two screw holes here below. I will show you the results in a second. It's hard to show with like the camera there and my screen there. You need two screws. There is a set of 3 with a bigger head and a set of 3 with a smaller head. Use the one with the smaller head. Results in a moment. Here are the results. So you screw these with the 2 black screws as I mentioned earlier, and then cap it off with this. And as you can see, no more bullet holes. Everything nice and clean. Next step is this big gray part and 2 of these. They attach here like this. I will show you the results in a second as always. You have 2 part of screws left, one with this giant head. You need those to attach it here. This is your results. Same on both sides. Don't screw these things too tight. These parts are movable, so you might regret that later on when the Megazord is complete. The last step for this magazine is connecting this part, like so. And we screw it down with one of the last screws that we didn't use. It comes in a set of 2 and slightly bigger than the smaller ones with the small head. Here's the results, getting heavier by the second. Let's move on to the next magazine. Magazine 73, almost done for today. For the first step, these 2 parts, the one with the ball joint end and the counter part, they snap together, very easy. Next we have this plastic part here, where this ball joint part what we just connected slides in. And then, take it out for a sec. When this is in, you have this part. So, here's a groove. This goes on top, so like this, that the ball joint keeps in place and is movable. You screw it down with 2 screws. Here's the result of the assembled part, and put it aside for now. Next step is this gray piece. Here's a ball joint part on top, and then you have these rubber caps. They go around on both sides. I hope this is visible. And then you have these gray caps that go on top of there. Wait, other way around. Like this. So this encloses everything. So black caps, gray caps, and then 3 screws holds it in place. Here's your result. It looked harder than it actually was. So let's continue. We take this part and this one slides right in. You have this little gray piece here sticking out that's on both sides. Slots in there, easy. And then here is a little cap which does exactly that, it caps it off. Goes on here, 3 screws, done. Now we need these hook parts, these flatter ones and these wider ones. These actually form fingers, so you cap these off. There's numbers inside of each part that you cannot mix them up. They just slot together, and after that we slot the fingers together. When you're done, you have a total of 4, of course. So that's that, and they combine. Slot in. There's a piece that sticks out and a piece that invert, so boop boop boop. Easy. Here are your 4 fingers combined, and then you have the thing with the thumb. Looking like a fist already. This is crazy. I didn't expect it to have movable fingers. I didn't thought about it, but for such a pricey item, that actually makes a lot of sense. Makes really a lot of sense. When you have it like this, you have a cap, slots on top, and 2 screws hold everything in place. Here we have your results, or mine in that case. Movable thumb, movable fingers, which is nuts, and a last cap seals off those bullet holes. Looks even nicer now. So let's move on to the last magazine for today. Magazine 74. Even more metal, more heavy. For the first step we need this metal plate. Goes on here. There's a little metal piece sticking out. Here's the counterpart, so let me see. Slots in there, and it's get held down by 1 screw. There are 3 types of screws. One is a bunch, the other is silver, and the other ones are just 2 with a flat head. They don't have a dome, so we need one of those. This is your result. The part is not falling off. It's black on black. I hope it's visible. As I said, 1 screw in the center here with the flat head, not with the domed one, and you're good. The next step is getting a little bit tricky. You take the silver piece and this rubber washer. Washer goes in here. Then we have this gray piece. Slides on top, is loose, so hold it down, and then you align it with the metal plate here. I hope you can follow me so far. I will show you the results when it's pinned down in a second. There's this metal rod. One end has a groove on both sides, one is round. Take the part with the groove and push it through where the rubber washer is till it's flush. And then you need 1 screw from here to screw it down. As I said, I'll show you the results in a second. It looks like this from this side, and it looks like so from the other side. There's 1 silver screw that holds this in place for now. For the next step, we fold this up like this, and then we have our fist, which slides onto the metal rod. Now we need to fold it into the proper position to use this part and cap everything off. So we fold this like this, and then around, and the fist goes in. Hope you can follow me. And then foot goes down. Looks like this. I realigned this a little bit. There's this red part that needs to go in here, and my finger is. I hope it's visible. So we just slide it in there. It's not visible from this end. Let me rotate it a bit. I don't want it to drop, so sorry. So you can see it stick out slightly here. I will give you a close-up in a second when it's combined. So if you know the show and if you know the Zord, if this is like a little red piece that's where's the counterpart here? It's, oh wait, I can't show it like that. Where is it? There. So it has to look like this when it's combined. So it goes on there, and when it's capped off, it's a total thing, you know. For the next step, we take this piece and the other rubber washer. Goes in there like before, and then we close this off. Your result is this. You screw it down with 2 of the black screws where you have a bunch of, and the red piece, as you can see, is this. For the next step, we take these 2 parts, they combine like this, and you use the same screws like on this foot that we used some seconds ago. 2 of those hold that in place. It should look like this. Slots right on, and another 2 screws hold this in place. Very easy. Here's your result for that part. And then we just slot this last cap on. When it's flush, looks like this. And we have one final gray part that rests here for now. It's a counterpart that we had before. I think we're done. Yeah, looks good. Give me a sec to have everything aligned. Well, you still can look inside of the Mastodon a little bit. And, well, let's not talk about this part so far. This is entirely missing. But yeah, getting there. One arm done-ish. Closing this off in the near future. One fist is done. If we had a sword, he could hold it. In Megazord mode, of course. And damn, this is heavy. The last magazine, what I know from a friend as we talked about this thing, is it will have support parts for Megazord mode. They will get inserted. I will show you everything when we're done. Magazine 120 is the last one. So we're in a good way. We are like, well, what we were like 74, 120, 40 something left. End of 2026, I think October is the final episode of Let's Build a Megazord, and we have this entire thing complete. I'm super hyped. You can't see it, but like I'm shaking over. I feel my fingers like there's like a little twitching, and I'm so happy that I started this out. I still want a Dragon Zord. I think it's highly unlikely, but I without no hesitation take that. I wouldn't even like take my credit card, take my money and shut up. So anyways, I blabbed too much as always. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. I hope this helped you out. Build this awesome thing yourself if you're doing it. Are you building this? What do you think about it? Hit me up in the comments. I'm always interested in see what other people think about this really gorgeous Megazord. This is as close as you can get when it's done to a show prop, to something that would work really nice for stop motion. If you have like buildings this size, like I can see my hands, like really high buildings in the background, like you could film a little movie with that. I mean, there's other parts, but this is highly posable and highly gloss fit, and like as I said, I'm super hyped. So once more, thank you for the support, thank you for watching, and we see us next time when it's time to build a Megazord.